5 years.
Okay, good morning and welcome to the September 5th, 2017 Wright County Board meeting. We'll begin the meeting today with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good morning. Thank you, everyone. I'll make an announcement this morning before we start. Our former Wright County Commissioner Judy Rose passed away over the holiday weekend here, so our condolences to her family and to everyone that is close to her. And I don't know, I didn't know Judy personally real well, but I just know she was.
Yeah. Judy, I was in Rotary with Judy also, and you know, just a real servant. I mean, she just took on projects and was a real inspiration for our group in Rotary, for sure.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Rose was representing my district. I was council member, then mayor of Albertville. What I do recall with her, I've had a lot of interactions. She was very dedicated, effective, and she got things done. She represented our district very well. I mean, I was proud to call her my commissioner when I was the mayor.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll move on from there then. So the minutes, we'll have a motion to approve the minutes from August 29th.
I'll make a motion to approve the August 29th minutes.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Vetch and second by Commissioner Potter to dispense with the reading and approve the minutes as read. And further discussion, any corrections, Lee, on your end?
No, sir.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Next, review and approve the agenda for today.
Mr. Chair, I'll move today's agenda if there's no changes.
I'll second it.
Motion by Commissioner Hewsome, second by Commissioner Potter. Seeing no changes, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda is approved. The consent agenda for today. Does anyone have anything they would like to be removed for further consideration?
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Potter, second by Commissioner Hewsome to approve the consent agenda. Any further? Nothing? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Timed agenda. We have our Auditor Treasurer, Mr. Bob Hevela.
Hey, good morning, Board.
Morning.
Just a point of interest, you'll see I did not bring that basket of claims down. This is the first week we pay those bills, and in your consent agenda you should have seen the list of checks that we had issued. So, the first item on the agenda is to approve a plat. This is in Franklin Township. It's the White Birch Acres Second Edition. The proper signatures and fees have been paid. I'm asking you to approve that plat.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the plat for the White Birch Acres Second Edition, Franklin Township.
I'll second it. Motion by Commissioner Potter, second by Commissioner Delighten. Any further discussion on that issue? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimous. Okay.
Board, the second item on the agenda, Brian's here if you have any questions, but this was a sliver of land that had gone tax forfeit, and the city of Roxford is taking it for public purpose. So in your packet is a order to transfer that property. So here's Brian in case you have any questions.
Good morning.
Morning, Brian.
I don't want to call her award-winning auditor treasurer wrong, but I'm going to. It does not involve the city. This is actually in Rockford Township, but what we are doing is attaching a sliver of land. I've got a aerial photo here. The parcel outlined in blue, these are on Lake Martha in Rockford Township. So the parcel outlined in blue is a main parcel. I think there had been a fire on this property a few years back. Person is building a home on there. The sliver just to the south, the sliver of land just to the south, whoops, we lost it. The sliver of land just to the south is in the Rockford district. The main parcel is in the Buffalo School District. Why, I don't know, but they have petitioned to attach the two, basically, and have the entire property in the Buffalo district. We've done this type of thing before. There is a much more complex procedure if larger pieces of land want to be transferred from one school district to another. We have to notify the districts and go through a process. For this type of thing, it's just a matter of actually the board authorizing Bob to sign on the order that you have in front of you, and then we notify the school district. So it's, I think the parcel that we're talking about transferring from Rockford to Buffalo is about, I want to say 0.2 something acres,
Yeah,
0.26 acres.
0.26 acres.
Yeah, very small. And so, just here to answer questions, but it's a fairly routine process.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Commissioner Bonner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Brian, I had to deal with these before when you're transferring land from school district. This being so small, it's basically administrative. When it gets large, then you've got to go through an agreement and bring it down to the legislative process. And we had that before in Albertville, and a few other places have had that. I can't imagine that the Rockford School District would be worried about this because it's going to be insignificant. If it was a lot of acreage, they have the bonds tied to the land, to the property tax, that might be an issue, but in this particular case, I don't see that at all. And with that, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve ordering transfer of the property.
I'll second.
Okay, we'll give that one to Commissioner Delighten. Motion by Commissioner Potter, second by Commissioner Delighten to approve the order and the transfer of the property to the Independent School District 877. Go ahead.
Well, one thing I do like is that we're combining the two parcels into one.
Yes,
Which cleans up stuff so much nicer.
yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
I stand corrected. I was thinking of a different parcel coming up.
They're in the same quadrant of the county, so you're close, Bob.
Right.
Oh, Bob has something too now.
No, you might want to get that checked out.
That's interesting. I don't know why that
I don't
is.
remember ever that happening before.
That
So
went
when I
off.
turn this light off,
It's a switched outlet.
Yeah,
Just remember, it's always darkest right before it goes pitch black.
okay. Whatever you say, Bob.
It's following. It's picking up.
So, Board, the third item on the agenda is really just kind of an acknowledgement. We appreciate the public's patience with DMV, but we wanted to release to you the communication between our association and the state, letting them know that their system wasn't ready. We have to work with this system, and we are working. We still have issues. Becky's here. She can tell you certain things that we still can't even do now that we've been live for as long as we have. But, Board, in your packet is a communication from the Deputy Registrars Association to the state of Minnesota at the early outlet of this new system.
Becky, will you want? Tell us about the experience, huh?
Good morning. It's been a nightmare. Prior to the rollout on the 24th, several letters were sent to the Department of Public Safety from the Deputy Register Association. A lot of communication stating we don't feel this is correct, that it's not ready, that there are many deficiencies there, and all we kept hearing was they're being worked on. They're being worked on, we are aware. They urged us at the implementation, and we saw how bad it was, to contact our legislators, which I did, and they actually called the Department of Public Safety, and when I got a call back from them, I heard, we're working on it, we're working on it, it'll be fine, we're working on it. So there was just nothing we were doing. At one point, the whole system was just stopped, nothing. At one point, all we could do were renewals, and the fees weren't coming back correct. The fees were adding $1, and sometimes they were making people get new plates prior to when they were supposed to get plates. That has been fixed, that dollar has been tweaked. We are still not able to do any tax exempt vehicles, which we do quite a few of those for the cities and townships and county. What they want at this point is for all of those to be mailed in directly to St. Paul with a check made payable to them. Therefore, we're losing out once again on that filing fee money, which helps run our office. So the system is not at all up to par. I will be attending a Deputy Register Association meeting next week. I'm sorry, in 2 weeks, and I'm sure it'll be very interesting because the state typically sends out representatives to that meeting, so.
I'll do one and then I'll get right to you, Mike. So, because we've noticed, I mean, we walk by there and we've seen the lines coming down the hallway, and so we know the frustration that not only the residents are going through, but you guys as trying to provide that service as well, because that was not the norm before this rollout. I mean, there was always, at the end of the month, you might see a little bit, but now it's just continual. I guess, is there anything that we can pass on to the public as far as, like, if they're coming in and they're not going for like, let's say they're just getting their driver's license renewed, is there a way that they could get that done sooner without waiting through the line? Or I guess if you could talk to that a little bit.
Not really as far as the driver's license is concerned, but as far as their tab renewal is concerned, we do allow mail-ins that if they mail them directly to us, or use the drop box in the front, we will process the same day and mail them right back to them, and they can avoid standing in line.
That's for the tabs?
For the tabs,
okay.
Yes. Another thing that's happened is a lot of people have sent in their renewal notices to St. Paul, and the Department of Public Safety cashed all of those checks, but they have not sent out any of those tabs. So we are getting a lot of calls from people who said, well, I never got them. So now our option would be we can sell you duplicates. Well, they're not pleased with that because that will cost them $11. Or they can come in and we can get them a 6-day temporary, but they would have to stand in line. Well, they're not happy with that thought either. So we have a lot of disgruntled people who have sent their renewals into St. Paul and never received them.
And I say we don't have anyone from the Sheriff's Department, but have you communicated with the Sheriff's Department to let them know that there's a good chance that this isn't the vehicle owner's fault at this point?
Definitely.
So hopefully they're being a little bit more.
The problem is going to be is the people that I have talked to, I will always ask them, so are you driving like out of state or anything like that? And if they are, other states aren't aware that the tabs haven't been sent out. Right. So that could become an issue.
Okay, Commissioner Potter.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. My daughter got her tabs online through this new process. They sent her the tabs, but they never took the money out of the account, so they sent us a letter afterwards saying we never got the money. Well, you supposedly everything, but craziness. But what is the odds that when you go to your conference in a couple weeks that you will get a well-worn comment that we're working on it?
I would say very high.
That's the banner across.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. So I just really wanted to update you, and I also wanted to just a high five to the bailiffs who have been coming down to help us. They have been magnificent. They've kept, the hotheads that come in down. They've also helped me as I go out and try to say, hey, you got your insurance, you got your policy number, you got everything on there. They've been doing that when I've been inside helping. So they've been magnificent. So a big high five to them. Okay.
Thank you.
So, all right.
Well, we really appreciate, your diligence.
We're trying.
And
you're doing the best you can under the circumstances.
Yeah, for sure. But
Commissioner Delight.
Have you looked at changing things up a little bit and having lines for strictly tabs or strictly driver's license or others? Or
we did
multiple?
attempt that. We did attempt that at one point, but then we had people that were doing multiple things, which is not unusual.
Yeah.
That they'd say, well, now do I have to go stand at the tab line?
Well, no, but if you have a line that says for multiple things.
We've never done with a multiple because then it's very confusing. But we have tried in the past to just separate, and that did not work. We had very angry customers.
I right, thank you.
I see it at other locations, so that's why I'm just curious.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Warren, the one other point I want to make is that, the state, this MNLARS was an effort to update that system, but also to give people back their titles faster. So that's a lot of work on our end to do it up front. So some of the things that we do that are very routine, very easy, they're trying to get people to send that directly to the state. I'm not pleading for the money, but that's where the county makes a little bit of money on those easy transactions to help offset the time, labor ones. So it's just funny how they shifted the hard transactions out to us, and they're trying to take over the easy ones.
It seems like the transferring of a title seems a lot slower than it used to be. Is that?
It used to be that titles were taking 6 to 8 weeks to come through. The goal of the MNLAR system was that it would take about a week. We have yet to see a regular title be issued out through the MNLAR system. We have seen duplicate titles be issued, but we have not seen title transfers been issued out. And this did go into effect July 24th.
It seems like from your desk's perspective, you guys seems like you have more data entry with the new system than you did prior to the old system.
It has shifted, Commissioner Vetch. It has shifted from doing the data entry at the counter with the client there to doing a daily report behind the scenes. So it has shifted dramatically. So that's part of the long lines, is that it's taking at least 3 times longer to do a typical transfer at the counter than it was before. So, but then we don't have the daily report in the back, just send the money in, basically. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming down.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else, Bob?
No, Board, that was just, I wanted to have an appreciation of what my staff are doing down there. They're doing a heck of a job down there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right, items for consideration. The committee minutes, the Personnel Employee Relations Committee met on August 30th, and Commissioner Houston, would you be able to do those
All right.
minutes?
Yep, thank you, Mr. Chair. Members present at that meeting were Delight Houston, Lee Kelly, others present, Asselson, Halverson, Hawkins, Job, S. Johnson, Pollock, and B. Peterson. And the first item was the request for an H-1B visa sponsorship for the Highway Department. And Highway Engineer Virgil Hawkins has a foreign national employee who's currently working as a Highway Tech 1 under a student visa. He's a great employee. He's even overqualified for the position he holds. And in order to retain him, the county needs to sponsor him for an H-1B visa. And there is a fee involved. Lori Pollock said the employee has to apply for the visa. He already has his optional practical training, OPT status, and the visa would be for 5 years. Hawkins said the fee ranges from about $2,300 plus immigration attorney fees of several thousand, for a total of about $4,000. I'm not sure if that's exactly correct. With the immigration fees, 3,225 plus several thousand, I don't know if the total is actually 4,000, so we may have to just look at that one, Lee.
Sure.
He said the county is paying this person below the minimum wage required to obtain the visa, so his pay would need to be increased about 50 cents an hour. And Hawkins said that would present no internal problems, as the other highway tech are higher in the pay range than this employee. And Pollock said the employee's compensation is in the union range. Blyden asked what happens if he would leave the county employment. Hawkins said the visa is good for 6 years, and he has at least a bachelor's degree and wants to work in the United States for 10 years before he goes back to his country to start a business. Pollock said the employee is grateful for his experience, and he's kind of had some discussion about how much he appreciates all that he's learning here in the county. So Hawkins said the sponsorship fee is a one-time expense, and Pollock said it sets a precedent. She added that the employee's OPT status is good for 4 years, and he needs to know that the county will sponsor him and help him get through the application process. Hawkins said he's a great addition to his staff. And we did discuss the precedent thing, and it is so rare. We had one other instance since we've been on the board where someone was looking for sponsorship and it didn't work out, but so that's definitely something to think about, but it's such a rare occurrence, and we discussed that. It's really a kind of a situation by situation, person by person decision. So that recommendation was to approve the request for the H-1B visa sponsorship for Highway Department. The second item was a life insurance change for Oaks. Human Resources Director Sean Johnson distributed a document entitled Wright County Life Insurance Request for Bid Proposals Highlights, and we do have that sheet. It was read and we read the overview and the background information. He said the best proposal was for Minnesota Life. They proposed a 10% decrease in basic life insurance rates from 15 cents per thousand to 13 cents per thousand for a total savings of over $2,000 over the 2017 rates. The supplemental life insurance rates would remain unchanged. The rates are guaranteed for 3 years. And the document also outlines the terms proposed by the competing vendors, Madison National and Voya, insured by ReliaStar Life Insurance. And the recommendation is to approve the 3-year life insurance provider contract with Minnesota Life. The third item was the GIS specialist position. GIS coordinator Alec Halverson said they interviewed 9 candidates for this position. The top candidate is requesting 27% higher than the minimum range, which is $24.04 per hour. The minimum is $18.97 and the top is $26.56, so it's in the range. Leiden asked about the qualifications of the second candidate. Halverson said the top candidate has the most experience. All the other candidates have experience in the private sector, less related experience, or very little in the public sector. The first candidate has experience in the public sector and currently works for South Dakota Department of Transportation. County Surveyor Steve Job said the top candidate was the only one who could work up to speed quickly, so he would be coming in at a higher rate, definitely. He's performing duties at the level of a 6 or 7 year employee, and he also uses the same software the Surveyor Department uses. So that's another plus. The candidate is also well-versed in reading legal descriptions, deeds, and searching for records. Job said the minimum wage range is probably a little lower than market. Even with the proposed starting range, this person would still be the lowest paid position at the surveyor staff, so we don't have to worry about leapfrogging. County Coordinator Lee Kelly and Johnson said they're in favor of the increase given the level of the candidate's experience. Job said he would contact the candidate regarding the committee's recommendation to hire him at the requested range and submit the background check before the weekend. The item will be submitted today at the county board. And the recommendation was to approve hiring the GIS specialist at 27% above the minimum salary range. The fourth item was the performance appraisal for Steve Job, surveyor. Recommendation based on 3 performance evaluations received, the committee recommends a rating of meets expectations. And Mr. Chair, I would just ask Mr. Kelly just to clarify a couple of those numbers in the first. I'm missing my thing now. Oh, there we go. In the request for the visa sponsorship, just to clarify that those numbers are correct. I was a little bit confused about the fees of several $1,000s for a total of about $4,000 in addition to the $2,000, so.
And I'll follow up with the HR reps and get a updated figure on that. I know the first figure that given there is accurate, but was a little more ambiguous in the additional cost.
Yeah, so. It's at several thousand for a total of 4,000. That's where, I agree that first number was right. So with that that change or that clarification, Mr. Chair, I would move the minutes and the recommendation.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Hewson, second by Commissioner Potter. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Advisory Committee, Advisory Board updates. Mike, you want to start off again? You always...
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Last week I met on the Highway 25 Coalition in the morning before our budgets, and we were handed out a flyer on where we're at this time. I passed that on to Commissioner Vetch, and Josh Moss from SRF emailed me another copy of that, so I'll be sending that up to admin besides my own. Just Highway 25 is basically, it's in its infancy right now, and we're just setting the table for what's coming off, because a river crossing is a little tougher project to get through, but there's enough support on all sides, including MnDOT, and the feds are aware of it. When I was out for Transportation Alliance fly-in, the congressmen from out there were all aware that this is coming up, so watch for it. The legislature's aware of it. MnDOT's been at the table the whole time. XL's been at the table. Everybody's been there and been positive on this. So hopefully it's, just in the coming years, this will be good news for up that area. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Mr. Hewson?
Well, a few meetings. I was at the crime lab meeting in August. It's been a few weeks now since we weren't at the last two meetings. I haven't been. Some of the things, Anoka County is changing their entire phone system. So they've got all new phone numbers coming out. So it's been, I can't even imagine what they're going through to do all that. But, and there's also, if people are interested, they're having a National Forensic Science Week celebration on Wednesday, September 27th from 9 a.m. to 3:30, and that would be at the Midwest Regional Forensic Lab in Andover. And you can go and find out about forensic science, packaging and testing procedures, or turnaround time variables, butane, honey, oil, demonstration, adhesive and paper processing, CODIS, fentanyl handling procedures, lab tours and demonstrations. It's registration of $10 per person. It covers refreshments and lunch. And it would be, you'd have to actually RSVP by September 8th to Rebecca Diane, and I've got the information if you're interested, but it might be something that you'd like to check on. We get every month kind of our laboratory success stories, and for July in Wright County, they had a biology sample sent in, and it was from a recovered stolen vehicle. It took 8 days, and they did a forensic kit to a St. Anthony PD auto theft, and they collected the sample from a cigarette butt. Another one, burglary in Wright County. It was a turnaround time of 15 days, again biology, and a forensic kit to Maple Grove Police Department auto theft. And another auto theft, a biology, it took 20 days, and they got a hit to a Minnesota convicted offender sample from swabbing the steering wheel. So those are a few of the success stories. So those are the ones that I enjoy reading about, because it's showing just how valuable our lab is and the turnaround time. Our numbers are up a bit. We did vote on the funding formula change, so we'll see how that all shakes down with what, how the percentages come out and that kind of thing. But Brian, did you have anything to add to that? Say anything about that?
Just the change of the funding formula. The change of the funding formula.
Right, yep.
Is it a 60, pardon, Mr. Chair, is it 60-40 then?
60-40 is what we agreed on.
60% based on the...
On population, 40% in usage. Yep.
And this takes effect to the first of the year?
Right, yep. So it's based on we're actually a year behind, so we would be, the 2018 would be 2016 numbers. So that will always be that lag time, because you have to go through the full year of your stats before you find that out. And Emergency Medical Services Advisory Council, and in South Haven on the 16th. And their some of their goals for 2017 are looking to do more training with other departments, and they're also hoping for more funds from the state. The Code Red is done, and Everbridge is up and running on our website. Get your numbers in there if you want to be notified. And we had our Central Minnesota Mental Health meeting on the 28th, and basically looking at now since Wright County passed the resolution, the day after that, all 4 counties are on board with moving forward for the new board makeup, and probably the commissioners we won't all be on the board. We don't know what the makeup is going to be exactly, but they're looking for people that are close.
Who's going to pick the new members?
I think that's going to be kind of us.
Yeah, that's
we'll be
a
involved
discussion point in our next meeting.
We'll be part of the process, and so yeah, they're doing, I think, getting some feelers out for community members who are tied or very concerned about the mental health issues and problems, and so
Dr. Lee has some strong ties to some people that are going to help him recruit some strong candidates for it. It appeared to me, I don't know about yourself, that he had some strong people that he felt was going to help him find really good candidates for this board.
Right. Yeah, I think he knows a lot of people.
He has his board all picked out then.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but he knew people that
who knew people
that were really well into, because the biggest thing that they want this board to do is to be fundraisers for the organization.
Yep.
So they're trying to find people that can find heavy donors, whether it's from corporate or private donors to this organization, and that's what he's looking to make the switch from.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Well, not only that, but he wants people also that are professionals, because right now you have currently not.
No.
All you have are county commissioners and.
Well, we also have other citizens.
Yeah, but you don't have any doctors or anything like that.
Correct. We have people that, maybe have worked in the field. We have one that worked in the field, but yeah, basically more people that are just interested but aren't necessarily fundraisers. Of course, under the way it was structured, we called ourselves its joint powers, but we had to realize that you can't be a nonprofit and be a joint powers at the same time. So now that we're just going with 501c3 status, that will eliminate the joint powers agreement.
Okay.
County.
Anything else?
For
Anything else? Okay. And I do not have anything. Mark or Derek?
I was under the weather last week, so I really didn't do much. But if you guys haven't read the Minneapolis Trib, under, I believe it was Sundays, in the opinion page, it discussed our friendly state auditor in there and comparing her to Dayton, and if one wins and the other surely one must lose, and it was kind of an interesting article. So just thought I'd pass that on.
Okay. Derek?
I was with Christine on the August 28th Central Minnesota Mental Health. 29th, we had our nuclear drill, which went very, very well.
Yep, we got, they said everything was.
It was a glowing report, is what you're saying?
Glowing, yes.
I see that Channel 4 News was out here, must have been the day or two after that, and talking about the nuclear drill and getting prepared for in case something happens. So, yeah, it was it's always a good experience because you do feel like, when they're making phone calls to schools and they're doing this and this and this, that it's happening.
Well, myself and Commissioner Houston, we're hoping to invite a couple more of you to come
Yes.
and experience it in 2 years with us. It's
So, yeah, they said, in case there was an actual event, you got to figure that you're on a 12-hour shift, and then your partner comes in and does the next 12 hours, and you come back, and we wouldn't know how long it would go on, but it is something, and I mean, just to have you guys in the Emergency Operations Center so you're comfortable, you go in and this is how you log into the computer.
I believe it would be wise for all of us to at least get that experience, so
Yeah.
if something does really happen,
Right.
we're not completely blind to what you need
No,
to
I
do.
mean, I might, Derek and I might be out of the country if something happens.
Maybe
So-
they might want to consider not having it during the Tuesday board meeting.
Yeah. That or we need to be aware of it ahead of time so we can cancel that board meeting.
Right,
But
yeah.
I tell you that 4 to 6 hours goes by very, very fast. I've never
I mean,
had
you're-
time fly so fast.
You're busy and,
you're busy.
but it's not exactly intimidating to have FEMA and the evaluators there, but it's like, oh, okay, why are you following me over here and writing down what I'm doing?
Anything else, Derek?
Then we had our, September 1st, last Friday, we had our Bertram Advisory Committee meeting. One of the items that we brought to our attention is that we have a noxious weed out there of, what did I know, just,
The mustard?
it's the spotted knapweed.
What is it?
Spotted knapweed was found up in the maybe the northeast corner of the Bertram Chain of Lakes Parks. We're going to work on, we feel like we can keep it contained and sprayed and get it under control. It's just going to take a couple of years to get it totally eradicated, but it's controllable. A bigger concern that we have is coming near the park and working its way to this part of the region is the bur oak blight. Bur oak make up a majority of the trees in Bertram, and we're very concerned about this bur oak blight because it does kill a tree within a relatively short period of time of about 3 to 6 years. It can actually kill a
Wow.
tree. So it's
Like Dutch elm kind of stuff?
yeah, it's very scary, and especially because we have a lot of 100, 150-year-old oaks out there that we can't replace in our lifetime. So we're going to keep a very close eye on that. Fortunately, there's just very in the experimental treatment stages for treating these trees with this. So other than that, we just had our update on the beach house construction. Other than that, moving forward and kind of trying to time our CIP planning with the city of Monticello and their CIP planning for additions and upgrades to the park down the road.
Okay, and I say we're very active in the budget cycle right now, and just want to remind all the board, we do meet this morning at 11 o'clock, and then we'll be meeting all afternoon too, so. Okay, with that, we are adjourned at 9:36.